Denver. We've got Denver. Fantastic. Wow. You're just all over the place. Mason, I'm in Mason, so there's two of us from Mason, calling in from Mason. That's great. Thank you so much. Well, let me go ahead and get started with our information. New Jersey too, this is gonna be fun. So I am gonna be one of the presenters as we go through the workshop today, and I did wanna let you know I've got some great support and help with me. We are very fortunate today that we have a Miami parent, Gabe Reiser, who's gonna join us in a little bit. And he has a student who's graduating, and he's also an employer from Intel Corporation. So he's gonna talk to us about his perspective in both of those roles. So we'll look forward to having him join us for that. I have a chat facilitator, Dr. Shelby Summers Ballard, is going to be staffing that chat function and helping us with the questions and getting information to you. I have April Robles, who is also a member of the Center for Career and Exploration and Success, and she's going to be my tech support. So if anything goes wrong, we're just going to point it to April. Blame her for that. And we certainly want to thank Mark Pontius and the Parents Office for their support and collaboration for helping us to get this information out to you as soon as we could. We are all kind of navigating different changes that are facing us, students, as parents, as workers. And so we wanted to let you and your student know that the Career Center is still here to help, and we want to help and support your student. We know they're kind of discovering new ways of learning and getting their classes taken care of and understanding how to still be a college student from wherever they are remotely. Their academics are a priority. But we're also thinking there might be some extra time in their schedule now that they won't have the campus events and activities. They really shouldn't be going out anywhere, right? So with that extra time, can we help them maybe get ahead of the game and really get a jump start on their career path, decision-making and plans so that they can be more competitive as they navigate this new market that we have. So we hope some of our suggestions and resources help your student. We know that you might have questions, and as I mentioned, the chat function is for that. Should we have a question that we can't answer, we are going to ask that you type in your email, and we'll get that information to you as soon as we can. But we do want to make sure that we leave time at the end and in between the presentation for some questions. We are recording this, so if you have to step out or if you aren't able to stay till the end, it will be located on the Miami University Career Center YouTube channel. So I'll tell you about that at the end as well. So let me go ahead and get started with the content. So we think of information that we share with our students on our website and just in general in the developmental process. And we think that in three stages. And I'm going to kind of condense that information into those three stages so that when you go through it, go back to our website, you'll see that it does fit along with that information that we're trying to get from the website. A little background, that's okay. So for Explore, that's the first area that we want students to spend some time doing, no matter what level they are, what year they are, where they are in their process, exploring. And probably the biggest thing we really want everyone to know is that they can still connect with their career advisor virtually. You're still here to help them with whether they're exploring majors and minors and decisions in that early stage, whether they're navigating a job search or a graduation or a graduate school path. We want them to be able to connect with us. This is a time when students might really start to reflect a little bit more on what they're doing, what their academic path looks like, what their career path looks like. They might be thinking about how to gain experiences through either activities or volunteering, internships and jobs, definitely. And so this is a time, no matter what level, that they can spend exploring with us. We do have students reach out to us through Handshake or by emailing the Career Center. Explain what Handshake is in just a minute, because I'm guessing that might be a new term for some of you as well. But I think it's important that you know each student has a dedicated career advisor based on their academic area of study that they would connect with when they scheduled an appointment. So everybody has that availability. When they schedule their appointment, their advisor will pop up in their Handshake account. So what is Handshake? So Handshake is Miami's online platform that connects students to all things career. This is the place where employers post part-time, internship, full-time positions. So students have access to that information through their Handshake account. They can also see any of our events, which are now all virtual. So we have a number of different things that they can join virtually. And They also have access to, as I mentioned, making an appointment of our career fairs as well. So it's a great place to get all things career, and students can just fill out their profile and then get access to that information. It's a great resource, and you'll hear me mention it just a few more times through the presentation as well. We also want them to explore some different things in Handshake with the job postings. And I think this is a question I've gotten from a couple of students I've met with recently is, are there still jobs in there? Absolutely, there are still jobs in there, and there are new jobs being posted every day. So on the one hand, we're hearing things that maybe there are some industries that are not thriving. We have some that are. And so I think it's important that students know it's still valuable to look there and explore what kinds of positions are there, what kinds of internships are being posted, things that are still thriving. I also think in this time of exploratory activities, it might not be a bad idea to kind of help your student or encourage them to explore industries that are thriving and that are struggling and kind of know what that looks like for their future. I think that the market has changed. The job search market has changed, and we need to kind of look at that and use that in our planning of our career path. The other things that I have on this slide, just to let you know, our website is pretty well versed in sharing resources and events and connecting students to things that are going on with our office. So I would encourage them to just kind of play around and get familiar with our website. They'll also come across another topic called career clusters, and that's Miami's way of kind of helping students plan their individualized career path. These career clusters are large groups of industries where we want students to think about more broadly and not so tied to necessarily their academic background. I fully believe that major doesn't always define your career path, and so this might help some students look at other things that might be of interest in their future. And then I did put our website down there, certainly as a place to go for all of this information, as I just mentioned. It's a great place to kind of, oh, I'm sorry, that's actually our email address, that last bullet, email address. If students are unfamiliar with Handshake, but they'd like to connect with their career advisor, please just have them email the office and we can definitely connect them with their advisor. It's something that Handshake might not be as familiar to them yet. We'd like it to be, but if it's not, they can certainly just reach out to the office and email us. I'm going to just pause now to see if we have any questions that we need to discuss.
Yes, this is Shelby, everyone. Hello. So yes, we do have one question, and it looks like one of the parents answered it. So thank you, Jackie, for answering that question. But we had a great question about, are we seeing a lot of seniors losing their job offers? It's really not just seniors who are being impacted by it, also juniors, sophomores who have received internships. So yes, we have seen some employers who have rescinded offers. And so what's happening is we're keeping track of all of that between our office and the Farmer School of Business career office. And so we're collaborating together and we're reaching out individually to those students and letting them know that we're aware and we're so sorry that that happened. And then we're working with them individually to help them continue on and move through the job search or internship search. Beth already talked about it a little bit, but we are still having employers that are hiring. Some, not all, internships and jobs have been canceled. So we're just encouraging students, if that has happened, to stay relevant, and we'll work with them about what are some other things they can do. But please drive your students to Handshake. There are a lot of internship and job postings on there, and also our virtual events that we're so fortunate enough to have employers hosting, and those are also available on our website. So have your students check those out as well.
Great, thank you, Shelby. I appreciate that, and thank you for the question. So we'll move on to next slide. The next area we're going to talk about is preparing, that phase where we like students to prepare for whatever next phase they want to move into with their job search or internship search. With prepare, we're usually talking about some of those documents that are important. So designing a competitive resume is also on top of the list. We are in a very competitive job market, and it takes a little extra effort to navigate. And so we think this is a great time for students to look at their resume. If they haven't created one, certainly create one, but to take that one and then make it more competitive and uplift that. And the first bullet talks about a wonderful resource we have called VMOC. It's something that students can access from our website. VMOC is a smart resume platform that is designed to help them create an elevated resume. They can upload their resume and VMOC will give them feedback. It actually gives them a score, gives them specific feedback on things that they need to change or modify, rework, maybe some different wording used, maybe some numbers added, maybe they didn't write out their whole degree that needs to be written out. So VMOC really catches these things to help students get to the heart of their resume and make it that much stronger, that much better. And then certainly our career advisors can help look through those as well. But I think VMOC's kind of fun to use. You just upload their resume and it kind of gives them the score and tells them what to do. And it really is a kind of a self-work through process. And I think that's very helpful for students. We also think it's a great time to update or create that LinkedIn account. Students may not have developed that yet, but we do encourage LinkedIn for a number of different ways. So right here for preparing, I would tell you it is basically their resume online, and it's the way to look for jobs and internships and connect with professionals. So we think this is a valuable tool. I will get students who will ask, do I need both LinkedIn and Handshake? Yes, you need both LinkedIn and Handshake. They work two different routes, two different ways of connecting. So yes, it is important to have both. So the LinkedIn is something to work on, and then the Handshake account. Students can actually create their Handshake account to look very much like LinkedIn. They can upload their resume and it populates the different sections on their account, so they can make it public to employers, so employers can see their Handshake account. I would really remind them that Handshake is really employers that are looking for Miami students. That's why they're on Handshake. That's why they're posting their openings there. So it is a really nice, warm kind of connection that we're making with employers there. So they want to make sure that that's up to date as well. We also encourage these two accounts to be up to date because they work best for the student when their profile is as complete as possible. If they want to see some targeted opportunities that are matching what they're looking for, they really do need to fill in their career preferences, their industry preferences, their job functions. They need to make it as complete as possible so they get more direct information about openings and opportunities that fit what they're looking for. And that goes for both LinkedIn and Handshake. They can do that with, and we really do encourage that. We also want them to know that Handshake is something they can apply directly to these opportunities. They're on their profile and they see an internship that they're qualified for and interested in. They can simply upload their resume from there. So again, a really important key is to keep that Handshake updated and ready to go. Another great activity right now would be to practice those interviewing skills. Big Interview is another really interesting resource that we have and they can access through our website where they can go in and practice video recording their interview answers. And they can pick certain questions that they want to practice. They can pick different types of interviews. The video pops up and someone is asking them these questions and they have the time to respond and record. They have the option to delete and try again. So there's a good practice in there, but it definitely lets them view their interviewing skills and know what they want to work on. And it's something that their career advisor can also help them with and feedback to help them work on those aspects of their interviewing skills to improve. And then it might be a great first step into our mock interview program, which has gone virtual. I did one this morning. And it's, again, nothing's better than practicing those interviewing skills because you just never know when that first interview is going to pop up. And you want to practice online, virtually, or you want to practice with a career advisor virtually. And I think now more than ever, those virtual interviewing skills are going to be more important. We're used to seeing phone interviews. We're seeing some video interviews, but obviously now we're going to see that more than ever. And this is a great opportunity for students to really focus and hone in on those types of skills. Any questions that we need to address?
We do have one question, but April answered it. We want to put it out there just in case not all of the parents saw the chat box. So we had another great question regarding what about capstone requirements for internships that were a part of that requirement for this summer. So we are individually working with faculty to help assist them, but also some faculty have been able to pivot into a virtual type internship if they have connections with particular companies or employees. So we're kind of seeing a mix of both, but know that that is something that we are helping with, and the fact that you're also aware of just the change in this the way that we're now communicating information and working with students in online classes, that there is going to need to be a shift and individually working with students too. So know that we're aware of that, and we're doing what we can to work with the students, and the faculty are as well.
Great, thank you, Shelby. Moving on to connect. This is our third stage. We like to talk with students about that connection. And again, this is an opportunity for students to connect and build networking contacts, no matter what stage they're in. We think this is an important relationship to begin, even as first year and second years, to kind of build that network of people who can support them through their career development and their job search as well. I do think it's important to note that there may be some extra frustration during this time, and maybe explaining to students, I know I have to explain to my college senior that not everybody's on their time schedule, and that other people are adjusting to new work environments as well. And so a connection may not get back to you as soon as you might want them to. It doesn't mean to give up. It might mean to give them space and then to reconnect, but continue reaching out and trying to make that connection. Just understanding that people are in different stages right now of their own kind of adjustment. With Connect, we have another resource that I think is so valuable. We've been loving it ever since we got it, and definitely promote it to students, but I think it's important, especially for all of you to know, and any of you who might be Miami alumni. The program is called Miami Alumni Connect, and the resource is one full of Miami alumni who have signed up basically to offer career advice to our students. And this is something we kind of call it the mini Miami LinkedIn. And it's an opportunity for alumni to fill out a brief profile on what they're doing currently, a little bit about their work background and what they studied at Miami, maybe some groups and clubs that they were in while on campus. And then students can go on and also create a profile, but then look through the alumni and search by major, by industry, by location, finding alumni profiles that they may want to connect with, to learn more about their resume, have informational interviewing opportunities, networking possibilities, discuss academia versus industry with alumni. So a number of different things that can be shared with our students from our alumni, and it's been very helpful. Such an easy connect. When I show the students the profile, they're like, "Ooh, that looks like somebody I'd like to talk to." There's literally just a little button that says, "Let's connect," and they click on that. An email template comes up. They type in why they would like to talk with this alum, and send that off, and the connection begins. So that has been a really good way for our students to connect with alumni for a lot of different reasons. We also encourage students to still look through LinkedIn, though. 150,000 plus alumni, Miami alumni on LinkedIn, representing a number of different industries and locations, is another good way to network with our alums. So it's a great tool to use. And LinkedIn is another great reason to have their profile ready to make those connections with our alumni. We do think that those connections reaching out, such as virtual job shadowing, informational interviewing with alumni, is a really great way for students to start to make that relationship. We are very strong believers in the job shadow process, where students actually go and see the job in a half a day or a day visit. That's not possible right now. We look forward to getting back to that, but certainly virtual job shadows is certainly an option, and informational interviewing is becoming more important than ever. Just to give you a brief description, informational interviewing is when a student would be the interviewer and connect with a professional and ask them questions about their job, about their company, about their industry, to learn information from this connection. It is clear, we try to make this very clear to students, that an informational interview is not asking for a job. It is not a job interview. It's simply seeking information. But that does begin a relationship that hopefully that person becomes a part of their network moving on. And I think it's a great way for students to get very current information about what's happening in that job, that industry, that position. So I think that's another really great tool that we're encouraging. I just wanted to go back to, because I think the Miami Alumni Connect has been one of those great tools that we've been using with both students and alums. And it is located on the alumni website. It's not on, there's a link that you can get to through that. I usually just have students go right in there, and when they first click on it, it's going to ask them to create a profile, and make sure to tell them it's not as lengthy as LinkedIn. It's just a brief profile, but that does then give them access to those alumni, and they can get that through the Miami website. So I am going to pause there and see if we have a few more questions before, whoops, sorry. You did there a little bit.
Yes. So for person who asked about Miami Alumni Connect, where do I find it? I did put a link there. So if you want to go to that link. So great question. Thank you. And then we also got another question about if we offer any workshops on doing virtual interviews. So just 2 resources for that. So as Beth mentioned earlier in the presentation, Big Interview is going to be a great opportunity for students to do that virtually, to just practice their interview. Practicing is just one of the things that I would encourage, because you can do it as many times as possible to kind of hone in on the things you might need to work on. Like Beth said, you can repeat questions, delete questions, work on them some more. So I would always drive students to check out Big Interview, just for the practice purpose. And then if you go onto our website, and if you click on the tab that says programs and events, and then view all programs, you'll see a list of all of the virtual workshops that we're doing. So those are all listed on our website. We've got virtual workshops with employers. We have some that are being facilitated by career advisors within our office. So definitely take a look at that too, and encourage your students to participate in any of those that might be of interest.
Great, thank you, Shelby. I think that was good information. And so now at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Gabe Reiser, our Miami parent and employer, and have him share some information with you. Gabe, I'll let you take it from here.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, great. Got worried there for a second. I didn't hear you. Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time. And first of all, I do appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to speak as a parent of a graduating Red Hawk. Miami's really given so much to our son Jake and our whole family in the way of life-changing experiences.
Gabe, can I interrupt for just a minute? I'm seeing some comments. Some people are having trouble hearing you. Could you speak up a little bit or turn up your volume a little bit?
Yeah, let's try that. Any better?
I think it's a little louder.
Okay.
That's good. Okay.
All right. So it's hard to believe that the ride of being a Miami parent is already coming to an end, and this experience is, it's been a thrill ride. When you guys asked me to speak, you wanted to hear some of my insights about being a parent of a Miami student and some of what he's experiencing, which probably mirrors a lot of what you all are seeing. So as we get ready for this next phase of life and the challenge of finding their first jobs on their chosen career path, and as if this challenge wasn't great enough, we have the added obstacle of the current situation that we're in today. I think that our son Jake, he's been feeling the pressure in his chosen field, which is music education, of the additional shelter in place directive. It makes it a little more challenging. It's another extra little hurdle you've got to step over. But I will say he's already been working hard. He's been working his network. He's actually found several positions, which he's already in the process of applying for in his field of music education. So that just finding those first few open positions and not having to move to Timbuktu to take that position, I think gives him a little bit of encouragement. I would say that I think his overall tone, he's probably quietly confident with a bit of nervousness at this point, as many people are probably feeling. If I think about how we've tried to encourage him at home and probably how he's encouraging himself, I agree, Beth, with your comments about LinkedIn and practicing interview skills. That's excellent advice to follow, and that's a good area for your graduates to be spending time right now. LinkedIn has really burst onto the scene as, it's kind of at the forefront of how professionals connect and where potential employers look for candidates. So I would encourage you, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile as a graduate, or even the parents, you should get one, keep it up to date, and start using it. This next phase is just another one of those growing experiences that'll help Jake and help your students and all of the graduates grow. And it's what makes us stronger, right? If it doesn't kill us. At home, as his parents, we've really just stayed really positive and letting him know that it's all going to work out. This is a temporary situation that we're in, which will pass. He started reaching out into his own network of friends and in the community, and even people that he's gotten to know through Miami University and his time there, and even some people in our own community. And they've offered guidance, and some of this has already materialized to one or two potential backup jobs if his dream job doesn't play out. As you mentioned, I work for Intel Corporation. I've been with Intel for 20 years. It's hard to believe. I feel like I just started. Still not sure what I might do when I grow up, but I can offer some insight to Miami graduates. Intel is a company of more than 100,000 employees, and we have just about every job type you might imagine, from engineering, all sorts of tech programs and job functions, marketing, sales, management, finance, human resources, just to name a few. I will say that in this current climate, while it does
We lost you. Give me a second here to see if you can pop back in.
I would encourage your students to check out, I think the link's right there for you, jobs.intel.com. You'll see a complete list of available full-time and internship opportunities there. It's a pretty lengthy list. I think you can filter it by job function, by location, and there you'll see positions all over the world. If I can be of any assistance, reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'll try to help out any way I can, or giving advice, or just answering questions. I'll try to pay a little more attention to my LinkedIn messages for the next few weeks. So those are really our insights from our little family unit there. You can see there's my beautiful wife, Amy, Jake front and center. Those are my awesome parents on the right. And one of those great experiences that I mentioned when Jake was part of the Red Hawk marching band. So in closing, good luck to all of you and your students. Remember to make a life worth narrating, and love and honor. Have a great weekend. And again, thanks for letting me do this.
Thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate your perspective and insight. So back up here. Any questions that were typed in for Gabe while we were going? Oops, I'm not very good at this, am I?
No questions came through.
Okay, great. That was very insightful. I also, I think I mentioned, have a college senior at home with me, so I feel what's going on. I thought something that Gabe said that I just wanted to kind of touch back on was dream job. And I think one of the things that in working with students, that plan, that goal that has been possibly, in front of them for so long, is they might be questioning that right now, and might need to open up some opportunities, open up the possibilities. And if that's something that one of us can help with, we'd be happy to do that. Sometimes it takes coming up with some different ideas and kind of brainstorming some new plans for the future. So I appreciated that sentiment from Gabe. So thank you very much. So at this time, I'll move to my last slide where I put some information. Certainly the office, we're still answering phones, still answering our email. Our website is there. As I mentioned, the recording of this will be available on the Career Center YouTube channel. so that you can watch it again. If you had to step out, you might want to catch the middle of it. I did want to reiterate something that Shelby alluded to. We really have gone very, very virtual in all of our programs, and each week for the rest of the semester, we have a different theme and different programs. This week was all about resumes. Next week is all about the job and internship search. And for consistency's sake, we're doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday Instagram Live messages to students, which they're on there anyway. We know they can find it, so we like to message them that way. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 o'clock, we have live webinars on these topics. Again, all of those can also be found on YouTube. So if they can't make it at that designated time, the webinar is still found on our YouTube channel. So we will have other things coming up. As Shelby mentioned, a lot of employers want to do some virtual events. We've already had a couple coffee chats with some. So that is still going on. The career life is still moving and shaking, even not on campus, but in the atmosphere. So have them connect with us so that we can help. I won't be here taking any additional questions at this time, but I do want to thank you for joining us, and please know that we really miss your students. We can't wait to have them back on campus with us. We hope that you're all safe and together and taking care of each other. And if we can help, please let us do that and connect with your students. So I'll turn it over to Shelby. Any questions coming in?
Yes, we do have one. Are you able to talk about the PassFail as it relates to seniors? So I actually was just on a meeting about this morning, so I can talk about it slightly, but then I'm going to give you some resources to get more specific information. But I think it really kind of depends on what your student is pursuing. So if they're a pre-professional student looking to go into med school, law school, they really want to stick with the grade and not take advantage of the PassFail or the credit, no credit option. But that is absolutely something that your student will need to talk to their faculty advisor about. But that's what I had heard about in the meeting, is that they're discouraging students in pre-professional tracks to take the PassFail credit, no credit. And then I would say the other piece of that is if your student is interested in doing the PassFail or the credit, no credit, direct them to their academic advisor to kind of talk through about what is the difference, because there is a difference between PassFail and credit, no credit. So they can discuss the difference and how that might impact them or not impact them and what the best option is. So can't give you full details, but that's the information that I heard about this morning. So hopefully that helps a little bit.
Great. A couple other things, so let me know if you have some other things to share.
Another question here. There are so many resources. Any suggestions on how to help motivate our student to access them? And Beth too, if you want to chime in on this from your perspective as well. You know, this is something that we talk about as an office regularly, about how can we continue to engage our students. And this was a conversation that we had when we were in the office and working with students face to face. It was a conversation that we were having about how can we get more students involved in our programs, in coming to our events and our panels. And it's the same situation now that we're virtual. How can we continue to engage students? So we really are asking for you to partner with us. That is just would be wonderful if you can also encourage your student to hop on even to the programs and events page or look through it with them to see what virtual resources or virtual workshops might be beneficial to them. Also working with our faculty members as well. So we are sending out emails to our faculty, encouraging them to let us have a moment in their WebEx virtual class to talk about resources and encouraging students. So we're also really trying to partner with faculty as well. But you know, we certainly are open to suggestions and feedback about that, because we really want to make sure know that we're still here and that we have them to take advantage of a virtual way.
I think that covered it. That was great. Yeah, there are a number of different things, and I think depending on where your student is in the process, might be the appropriate thing, or just like, hey, have you made a LinkedIn account lately? Or hey, have you checked the career website lately? Or show me your Handshake account. Maybe that might get you to see what it's a little like from their perspective. But there are a number of things. And I think the other thing we talked about was students are getting bombarded right now with information from their faculty about their classes, which certainly is the priority, and then from all different other aspects of their life. So I'm sure that I think I saw April had typed in there something about we do send out newsletters to students. Sometimes these get lost in those emails when a professor is emailing. They're going to gravitate to that. So we do realize that they're getting a lot of information right now, and so we're going to try. That's why we brought in the Instagram Live. Try different ways to reach them that are fit more into their schedule and it's a little more visible for them. So we'll be sharing these resources through those live events as well.
So we did get another question. I just lost it. Okay. What about degree requirements to complete an internship before graduation? So we're working with our faculty members to assist students with that requirement. Some faculty are adjusting that, considering the new landscape that we're in, if there's an opportunity virtually with any connections that they have. So your student just needs to have that conversation with their faculty member if the faculty member hasn't already communicated with them about the pivot and plans. So the university is working with students on all of these requirements that now can't happen and that sort of thing. So we don't have a blanket answer for that, but your student will be worked with. But just have them get in touch with the faculty member or their advisor to kind of talk about what might that plan look like, so they're aware of kind of what they're looking at moving forward.
I think I've seen they pop up for me and then they disappear. So I get a glimpse and then they disappear. Look like somebody was asking about for recent grads of services, and so I can fill you in, and if I read it wrong, it's good information anyway. So for students who are graduating, the Career Center is still available to them as a resource. We are still there to help them with career advising, Handshake, and all the resources that we have. Typically that is a resource that is available the first year or two out after school, after they graduate. And then beyond that, our alumni office has wonderful career advisors as well to take that experienced student, recent grad worker and help them through that. So absolutely, those resources do not end. Graduation is just a continuation of service that we provide. Shelby, do you have anything else coming your way?
Looks like
thank you for providing your locations. That's been kind of fun for me to see where everybody is joining us from. It's Miami Love and Honor is all over, and it's great to see it with the parents and friends and family that are supporting our students. So again, thank you for joining us, and please reach out if we can be of help. And again, we wish you nothing but health and safety and being with your students until we get them back, which we cannot wait to do. So we look forward to seeing them on campus soon. Thanks so much.